Hi there. I am so grateful for all the responses and positive feedback I got to the video I posted yesterday. I was really uncertain about it. I've never done this before, and it was so great to hear that there are people out there who want to learn about wig wearing, and I think I've linked my first video to this one. I had to put a tech support call in to my 9-year-old, but I think I've pretty much got it figured out now. I don't, but I'll pretend that I do. So I guess we're doing this. This is my first, I guess, official dispatch for what I will call Audrey's Guide to Wigging Out. I'm also going to post some resources and information on my website, which is audreyburgess.com. That's Burgess with one S, because as my father always said, we are half-assed Burgesses. And so you can find more information there. I should have some of that posted for you all soon. But if you have any questions or things that I'm not covering as I'm going through these, please feel free to drop it in the comments or send me a message, and I'll cover it in a future video, because I am trying to keep these shorter, or at least shorten them as I go. I had a lot of questions yesterday about the fact that I was taking on and putting on and taking off wigs without looking in a mirror, and that I could do that seemingly back and forth, and how I was doing that. And the reason is, I, for the most part, wear synthetic, ready-to-wear, glueless wigs. Usually I have a lace front, sometimes I have a mono top, but it's meant to be something that looks as natural as possible right out of the box, and that I don't really have to think about after I put it on. And I just used a lot of terminology, and that is part of the fun of learning about wigs, is that all of those terms mean something, and they mean something when you're shopping and when you're looking, and you will find things that work for you and things that absolutely don't. So this is the cap of the wig that I'm wearing, and I'm not wearing a wig band right now. I'll cover that in another edition of this. But if you ever had to wear a swimming cap to go to a pool so your hair didn't turn green, it was probably a lot like this, except it was a lot harder to get on, and this one is a bit furrier. So these back here are the wefts. It's where the hair is sewn on. They're stretchy. I can put my finger through them. Some people use that to pull their own hair through and kind of blend it in. And so I don't do that because, again, I hate styling hair. After, one drawback of having no hair that I could style for a long time meant that I really got out of the habit of doing it, and I hate doing it. And I'm calling this hair, but it's actually synthetic fiber, so it came from a factory and not from someone's head. I do have some human hair wigs, and I'll cover that stuff in a future video too. But the benefit to a synthetic wig like this is that once you take it out of the box and you shake it, and you style it a little bit, it is done. That is what it is going to look like. And that is also its drawback, because some people like to be able to play with their hair a little more and make it do things. And so some manufacturers have things like heat-friendly fibers and things that you can style with low heat tools, and I'll cover all of that in another video. So when I was talking about lace front, that's what this is. So it's not like lace you would see on lingerie. It's more like a mesh. And the point of that is that wherever that is, you can see your scalp through, which means that you can see the hair, and it looks like it's growing out of your head. Sometimes lace goes from temple to temple. That's what this one does. Sometimes it goes from ear to ear. There's 360 lace wigs. That's a whole different thing that I'll cover in another video. But sometimes it's just a little patch at the crown, or right where the part of the wig is. You can see this wig has it just down the middle where the part of the wig is. A wig that doesn't have a lace front is usually called a hard front. And the reason for that, let me see if I've got one of those. Here's what that looks like. So it's the whole thing is just, there's no transition between where the wig is and where your head is. And most wigs that are like that have bangs to cover that up, and they work really well. These are great wigs to wear when you are going to go walk the dog or go swimming, which you can do. Those kinds of things. That's something that you can wear with a hard front wig. This, when I talked about a monofilament top, mono top, that's what this is. So this is a wig that has a top across that is very much like the lace that's at the front of it, and it's meant to show what's underneath. So if you don't have hair, or if you have less hair, or if you're wearing a wig cap or things like that, we'll get into all that, you can see right through, and what is underneath looks like it's coming out of your head. Some of the wigs that have monotops also have hand-tied fibers, which is another thing that I'll get into. These are the ear tabs. And the ear tabs are really what you use to take the wig on and off. They usually have felt on them. They're soft. They have wire so that you can bend them a little bit to make them fit a little better. You can put your glasses under them or over them. Some of them have holes that you can put your glasses through. It really just depends. And the other thing that you see back here is this, these adjusters. So this one has hooks, but you can also have things like Velcro, or sometimes they look like bra straps, but they are things that make the wig tighter or looser, so that you have some ability to adjust what the wig actually fits like, because wigs come in sizes just like clothes, and just like clothes, an average in one size is not going to be an average in another size depending on your own unique head. So those are all things I'll cover in future videos. So there you have it. A mini crash course in wig putting togetherness, I guess I'll call it, but I'll cover all of these kind of subtopics in future videos. And in the meantime, thanks so much for watching. I'm Audrey Burgess. This is Audrey's Guide to Wigging Out, and you are beautiful, and I am so glad that you're here. Have a great day.